It's funny that you say that because I think it's about time we move on. You mentioned the transfer market. Obviously, some big breaking news happened on, was it Friday night? Yeah, because it was right after the Arsenal game. Arsenal on Friday morning bid £60 million for Caicedo, which was swiftly rejected by Brighton. I didn't think much of it. We hadn't been linked to him too much. And Chelsea had been linked with him before. That got rejected. And then just after the City game, Moises Caicedo releases an Instagram post and on Twitter with a full statement. I want to read it out here. I've got the whole thing. And it's weird because it starts off with Moises like it's a full press release. I'm grateful to Mr. Bloom and Brighton for giving me the chance to come to the Premier League. I feel I've always done the best for them. I always play football with a smile and my heart, and with heart. I'm the youngest of 10 siblings from a poor upbringing in Santo Domingo in Ecuador. My dream always to be the most decorated player in the history of Ecuador. I'm proud to be able to bring in a record transfer fee for Brighton, which will allow them to reinvest it and help the club continue to be successful. The fans have taken me into their hearts. They will always be in my heart. So I hope they can understand why I want to take up this magnificent opportunity. It's just, when I first read that, it didn't come across like someone who hasn't signed for someone. Mm-hmm. That came across like something you say when there is a done deal. And he just said that because he'd seen 60 million and he thought, well, that's a record fee for Brighton. Do you know what? I think I'm worth that. I want to go. And his head's been completely turned. And obviously it's going to our club. It benefits us. But it's so unprecedented.
It's a massive thing because I think it's put Brighton fans on a massive backstep as well, because they're a little bit like, oh, hang on a minute, you can have Trossard, that's fine.
Yeah.
Not Caicedo, he carries our team, and he does. And I mean, he wasn't in the side that faced Liverpool, and they still did well without him. But he is just a huge part, and it is definitely ruffled the feathers of the journalists that cover Brighton, that respect Brighton, that want them to do well. I mean, Andy Naylor last night. I mean, first of all, let's touch on Arsenal. Then added, 65 million.
Yeah, we put another bid which was 65 plus 5 million add-ons. Mm-hmm. That got rejected within half an hour. Couldn't even last 45 minutes. It was hilarious. But,
this morning as well.
We put another bid in this morning.
Which 70 million now? Yeah.
Well, no, that was last night.
Yeah, but you just said 65.
Well, no, 65 plus 5 equals 70.
Right, okay. I thought it was 70 plus 5 or something.
No, yeah. That was just detailing what the actual bid was. But yeah, like you said, journalists not happy with it. And it's like they're on such a high, they're starting to get... I don't get it, because the reaction from Brighton journalists is very much like we've spat in the face of Brighton by bidding 60 million. And I don't... Look, the market's got crazy. Let's be honest, the market's got crazy. Mm-hmm. But bidding 60 million for someone who's played 26 Premier League games is not... I think that's a very respectable fee. I saw a Brighton fan compare it to bidding 10 million for Saka, which I think is an absolute joke.
I think it's absolutely...
I mean, Saka in the current market, I don't even want to even think about how expensive he probably is, but...
Do you think Caicedo is worth 70 million?
Yes.
Really?
I think in the current market, around that, 80 would be pushing the barrel out.
Yeah, and
that's what would take it.
I think 70 is ridiculous. I mean, in the modern market, maybe it makes sense because
of what I've seen,
how overpriced players are. But I don't think Caicedo is worth 70 million.
How much would you pay for Declan Rice?
For Declan Rice? In the modern market, he's obviously going to be worth more. And
how much,
the fact that he's English is also going to be worth it.
The thing with Declan...
No, but if you were United, how much would you put forward for Declan Rice right now?
If you're in a bidding war or someone else.
Yeah, you genuinely
what's your statement?
What are you going for? How much?
Because the thing is,
I'd say 80 to 100.
80 to 100.
Yeah.
There's literally
and
stats.
that's what Caicedo's been...
Yeah, and I agree with it. I think there's literally stats pointing to how Caicedo offers the same kind of results as Declan Rice.
I don't think we should get too trapped into Declan Rice, because if you look at the average position of Caicedo, he's actually not really being used as a six at Brighton. He's very much like high pressing and being used as an 8. And I think if we sign him, we will use him as party backup predominantly. But from what I've heard from Arsenal journalists, from what I've seen on social media, it very much seems like he's not going to be in the way of signing Declan Rice in the summer. They would still try and do that. And also, the thing with Declan Rice is, Caicedo's still got a few years on his contract. That's helping his fee be higher. Yeah. Declan Rice, he's got 1 year left on it after the summer. That bumps that down, and they will probably go for about the same fee if we say sign both of them. And
the thing with Caicedo as well, I think it's very similar with a lot of teams. I think Anthony Gordon is very likely to do it again. When a player puts in sort of this, I want to leave. There's been a bid for him, and straight away, I want to leave. Right? I don't like that.
No, I don't respect it.
Can you sleep well at night if you sign Caicedo thinking, oh yeah, he'll not do that again?
I think that's the risk you've got to take.
I think when you're a young player, something's concerned, and I think if we sign him, I think if whoever signs him, whether it be Arsenal or any club, what they would do is instantly go, right, I'm glad we've got you, but don't do that again.
I think it's the same with Trossard as well.
Oh no, with Trossard it's very different because he's late in his career, short-term contract. I don't think Arsenal are planning to keep him.
We've had that situation happen to us so many times that I'm not actually too worried. There was a lot of conversation when Aubameyang joined us. Dortmund fans telling us this guy's trouble. He will kick up a fuss when he wants to leave, and he will not adhere to the rules. He won't put himself across well at all. And look what happened. We've had numerous times of players have stabbed us in the back and gone to play people like Manchester United and won titles. If you're Moises Caicedo right now, you're 21. As he said, he's got a poor family back home. I'm sure he's on a good wage at Brighton, and I'm sure that's doing fine for
He's
himself.
actually not. He's on around 3k a week.
3k a week.
So the fining, he hasn't been fined yet, but if he does get fined, that's probably about 10 weeks of his wage gone.
On a side point, Brighton could very easily fix this by bumping up his contract.
Genuinely, yeah,
but,
exactly.
On the other end of things, though, you literally get the team that is potentially about to win the Premier League. Yeah. Although he's about to do something special at Brighton, think about this. If you are him, would you rather try and get Brighton into the top 6? And that isn't a remarkable achievement in itself. Or would you rather come potentially win the Premier League with Arsenal, or not win it this season, but win multiple trophies with an Arsenal team that is really developing later on? What would you rather do?
Oh, obviously win the league.
I mean, it's very clear that it's not like he just. The thing is, when Chelsea put their bid in, which is only £5 million lower than Arsenal's original bid, they rejected it immediately. Caicedo brought out a statement saying, "I'm fine with my time here." He was adamant that he was fine, and it's the bid that Arsenal which turned his head clearly, and it's the fact that Arsenal are top of the table, and when you're a young player, when a club's at the top of the table interested in you, that's going to turn your head. I think he's been ill-advised by his agents. I think.
Yeah, I think that's very much agreed. I mean, Andy Naylor tweeted, "I really think it's about time Moises Caicedo reps and Arsenal get the message. He's going nowhere in this window."
Yeah, but the thing is, if your club is bullying your player into staying against their will, I think sometimes it's better to just let them go. And I think, obviously, the Brighton, PR train, the Brighton journalists, they want to, keep face, and they want to, go. No, they need to keep their image strong, and I 100% respect that. And I do feel with Caicedo, because originally the story was he will not be sold at all, and then slowly but surely the news has been drip-fed that they accept 100, that they accept 90, that they accept 80.
And I think the other standpoint we've got to look at it as well, right? If you're Brighton, what are you thinking? Because I think what you put across was an interesting point, is Caicedo going to stab us in the back in the future? And, right, let's put the scenario, right, okay? Saka gets an offer from Barcelona or Real Madrid in 4 years' time. Real Madrid are on the top of their game. No, just let me explain, right? And Saka puts out on his social media that he wants to leave, and we're halfway through the season, and we're about to potentially, kick on and do something for Arsenal that's going to be good. Maybe
win the Champions League.
Win the Champions League, contest for the Premier League again, and we're halfway through the season, and Real Madrid come in for Saka because they also want to win the Champions League, and because they also want to win their league in the Liga as well, right? And Saka's, he's 26, he's in his prime or something like this, right? How would you feel if he's just gone and put that out on social media?
I'd do exactly what Brighton have done, and I would only accept the deal if they get our things, and I wouldn't negotiate unless if they bid what we want. I would go, right, 250 million.
Okay.
Give me that. Yeah. You can have him. So that's what I'd do. And with Brighton, it's very much they've gone, right, we won't even negotiate. We won't even consider a bid unless if you break through that margin.
We had a conversation similar to this.
We literally did say this last night.
Forget Saka, right? The exact same situation with Odegaard.
No.
Then what are you doing?
He's in prison. I'm not letting that guy leave.
Real Madrid could literally come in and sweep Odegaard out. Right?
You're not letting it happen.
I'm not letting that guy leave. So he's trapped.
And when Brighton are literally, I know Arsenal haven't won a Premier League in a long time, but we have won a Premier League. Brighton have never got to these heights in the history of their football.
Here's the thing. From Brighton's perspective, everything they're doing makes sense. You're not going to fall over at this pinnacle. All the power is with them. With Arsenal haven't really done anything. They've looked at a target, they've bid for a target. Caicedo's the issue in all of this. And I think from Arsenal, they're looking at a target. They need to get someone in to help that title charge. From Brighton's perspective, is keeping Caicedo from the best of the season, knowing what he's done, are they just going to forgive and forget immediately as soon as he's back in the lineup?
No, because that's the mistake he's made.
Yeah, from Brighton's perspective, if you're a Brighton fan, you're going to be happy that you're going to have someone who willingly put in a transfer request and willingly down tools immediately, because if you are, then you're not the club that you want to be. If they want to develop into the bigger club, they need to put their foot down and go, right, no. But I think
on that, if I was Brighton, I'd sell him. No.
Yeah. Well, but they're not going to. But the thing is, I think I'll be honest. My gut tells me that. My gut tells me that's the way it's going. But the Brighton journalists and everything, they can't say that.
Yeah.
They can't release that information.
They also don't want that to happen.
I know they don't. They, obviously, in their dreams, they want Caicedo to turn around and do that. I don't think that's going to happen. But I think, in terms of the way it's going, they're very much keeping strong, and it's who blinks first, and it's whether, and it's I think, obviously, all the bids have been rejected. If Arsenal say put in an 80 million bid with maybe 5 million add-ons, I would think if that doesn't get rejected within the first hour, I'd go, oh, okay, this has legs. Because both the bids have been rejected within like 20 minutes.
So if something lasts longer than 20 minutes...
If a bid lasts longer than an hour, I'm going to go, I think we have him. Because that means they're negotiating.
He doesn't start for you.
No, he doesn't. You don't, in the middle of a title-winning season, you don't just chuck someone into your starting lineup. I say that. I'd love to. I don't mind Trossard starting next week. But
what I'm saying here is, although he's moving to a side that could potentially win the Premier League, whatever, he's not gonna play. He's guaranteed to be the main man at Brighton for the rest of the season at least.
Yeah.
I don't understand why he's done it.
Well, here's the thing.
He's made the massive mistake here, I think.
Yeah.
What if he hasn't done? What if he puts it off? And then he moves to Arsenal and he wins the league.
Here's the thing. You look at but you look at Arsenal. Here's the thing. Not a lot of people are realising this. You look at our midfield. You've got Odegaard, captain, lovely, 24, 25, whatever. But then you've got Xhaka and Partey are going to be 30 and 31 at the start of next season. The replacements need to be made kind of now. So if we talk to Caicedo, which we probably have already at some point, talked to him and told him what his role would be, we'll probably tell him, look, you will be, part of the second team. You'll get little bit minutes in the Premier League. Yeah. You'll probably end up with, will be in contention for maybe a Premier League title. But going forward, you will have this big role in the team. We'll develop you and coach you into this role, and you can push forward. And that's realistically it. And it's whether or not. And I think
El Nenny's injured as well.
El Nenny's injured as well. So he got the amount of minutes he gets immediately. He would probably start the Europa League, and
Would you? For Manchester United right now, and I know your midfield's doing decently at the moment, but if you were in our situation, would you sign Caicedo?
Well, Eriksen's injured now.
Yes.
Well, no, but if you were in our,
because it's hard to replicate that onto another club.
If I was in your situation right now,
5 points clear.
Signing him for your standpoint probably does make sense, yes. However, I just think Caicedo's gone about it the wrong way, and I've lost respect for him.
Yeah, it's just, I think because he's a young player, I'm willing to forgive and forget, because sometimes you can get lost up in the moment of things. And
and as well, I think he might be better off signing him in the summer.
I don't know, because I think in the summer there'll be more. I think the reason we're in for Caicedo is because in January your options are so limited.
And what if next season we don't go for a Premier League title? We're not in the contention?
In the summer, we're not in the summer. If we don't get Caicedo now, I don't think we get him at all. I think in the summer we'd maybe go for there will be cheaper options available who could fit in.
Here's the thing. What if we're not? Well, the thing is, in the situation you're in, I would say if you win the league this year, if you want to be in with a chance of continuing that and doing it again, you'd make the best possible signings in the summer.
Yeah, why not do it?
I don't think it's a question of what if we're not. You make the signings to be in it, to guarantee it.
Okay. From a longevity standpoint, and looking at the way Arsenal have done things recently, that makes sense. Yeah. But at the same time, my heart's telling me, this is it. Throw everything at it and just go for it. Because there's literally, okay, right, we could be contending for the titles for the next 4 years, and Man City could go and be on 107 points every single season, and we could never win the league. But we could be in with a fight, into a standpoint, and we could be a better club, but we'd never win the league. This is it. This is just it. Throw all the money at everything. If you have to sign Caicedo and Declan Rice right now, just do it. Just throw everything at it.
Okay.
Sell after the Emirates. I don't care. Let's just try and win the league.